Okay, hello everybody, welcome. Welcome to Foreman Meeting number 2, our second Foreman Meeting. For those on the video here, thank you for taking the time to do this. There's a lot of information that we want to cover, a lot of stuff we want to give everybody that's watching the video, whether you're conferencing in, whether you're just watching the video or you're watching this on YouTube. We're going to cover some topics today, but before we start and going into the topics, we want to just kind of do an overview of some updates in regards to the company around our team members. So we have a new team member named Bert Nelson. He's our plastering superintendent. He's out of Bakersfield. He's working on the Snow project. He's doing plaster there. So he's now also going down to, is it Quaya Delta?
Marsa
Voorhees to do the plastering there. So we've expanded. What that allows us to do when we talk to our contractors, allows us be more competitive with our bids. They say, well, why don't you include plaster in it? We'll give you a larger amount of scope. So I think Marsa Voorhees, Snow, and I think 2 other projects that we have listed.
SFO.
Long-term park? Yeah, that's the other one that which we haven't talked about. That are way down, those 2, and then more projects that we also have lined up that we're going to be looking at in regards to other scope. That's Bert. One of the other new team members that we brought on is, her name is Kim Lario. She's in the LA area. She is the estimating coordinator. So we have Chris, who's an estimator, Ben, who's doing estimating, John, who's doing estimating, and if you remember from the last board meeting, we had Tristan. Tristan's helping out on the estimating side. So we have 4 estimators that are out throwing out tons of bids, and so Kim, one of the coordinators, trying to coordinate to make sure that we're filling out all our bid forms and getting all the documents ready, and looking at what's the magnitude of all the bids, so we can maybe be a little more selective, like when does this one start, when does this one end, does that fit into our time slot, so we can kind of manage what we refer to as our backlog, in other words, all the work that's out in front of us, so that way we don't spike or hit a valley with manpower. So she's working with that, and she's willing to join us on the call next time if you want to put a face with the name, so I might ask her to jump in. One of the other people you'll see here is Kathleen. Kathleen is, she's in Florida. She's the payroll manager. So we talked about payroll. Some of the changes that are happening in payroll is we currently, our process is we're having somebody else do payroll. So Kathleen trying to migrate information from one system to the new system and get everybody set up inside there. Then be able to also make some changes in regards to things that we're going to be implementing, like I talked to you guys last month about budgets, job costing codes, things like that. That's on the horizon. It's not happening yet, but Kathleen's kind of the point person for that. So Kathleen is the one that receives all the time cards, verifies, double checks, makes sure everything goes through, reimbursements. She's going to walk us through today about onboarding process, hires, what's the new hire process, and also some feedback for time cards. In the following months, when we get into time cards and we start making some updates and changes, it'll be one of our main topics during one of our Foreman meetings. Exactly go, how does everything go, where it needs to go where, and then we'll be having feedback of how we can improve that process. Okay, so hi Kathleen.
Hello.
Hi, Kathleen. Okay, and then I think that is everybody. Yeah. Okay, so
Too late.
we're going to do now, yeah, we'll go into the new hire package. So that's what Kathleen, do you want to, Kathleen's created a presentation. So let's look at what the new hire packet is. So every year there's new forms that come out for new hire packets. Here's our new hire packets. You want to hand some of these out?
Can you guys see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Now, Yes.
Okay.
Now, hold on for a second, Kathleen. I'm looking at this physical hard copy.
Can I make it? Either or. You like that? I can hear it. Talking about it.
Okay. So, Kathleen, the packets that Celine printed out do not have all the backup information, like the brochures and workman's comp and that. So this is like an abbreviated version.
Okay.
Okay? So when you're walking through all the critical information for this video, we want to kind of walk through what do the foreman, what do our foremen need to turn in to Kathleen? And what's the stuff that we need to give to the new hire employees? Okay. Packet that's like 57 pages big in regards to brochures and EDD and Spanish and so on. This is the condensed version with the critical documents that foremen will need to fill out and have turned in. Okay. As we migrated from one system into the new system, there's some information that's still that's missing that we'll talk about later about how we're gonna address that. Okay. Okay. So Kathleen, go ahead and take it away.
All right. So I just wanted to say hello, everybody, and to give myself a brief introduction. My name is Kathleen. I've been working with DMS since August. I came on the retail side as an admin working with Granger, and just in the new year have been in the payroll section, getting ready to merge our payroll data into Pro Contractor and going forward from there. A little bit of background, I was in property management previously as well as HR, so I have a lot of experience with new hire documents and what's required from Department of Homeland Security, all that good stuff. So that's kind of what we're going to go through today is the onboarding process. I have done some auditing on our new hire documents. That's the stuff that people turn into us, W-4s, I-9s, all that good stuff. And we've got a lot of missing information. And Dickie and I also went through the new hire packet and found that there was a lot of outdated forms, a lot of forms missing, all that kind of stuff. So what I've gone through and done is updated and condensed the new hire packet. So I want to walk through the packet and address some common oversights that I usually see. I know paperwork isn't fun, but it is required by the Department of Homeland Security. And in order for me to get everyone set up in payroll at the proper time and make sure that all of their withholdings and all that good stuff is correct, it is important that it's properly filled out and returned to the office in a timely fashion. So this, when we have a new employee, they should be given a new hire packet. It needs to be printed from the cloud to ensure that this is the most updated version. So if you have old versions saved on computers somewhere, it needs to be deleted and you need to print it directly from the cloud. I've made two packets. One is in Spanish and one is in English. The Spanish one is as Spanish as I can get it right now, but we're going to work on translating some of the other forms. So the first section of the packet is all of the required pages that I'll need filled out, signed, and returned on the employee's first day of work. So I'm going to walk through those now. The first page is the signed checklist. This is a new checklist. In the old packet, I think there were 3 or 4 pages of checklists. I've condensed it down to 1. So now there's a signature from the employee that they've received all of the documents here and that they understand the material. The other line is for you, the foreman, to sign that you have provided the information above and you are sending the required documents back to me at the office.
Kathleen?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm looking at this checklist,
Can you see the PowerPoint? Chelsea just came in here and told me she can't see it.
We can see it.
We can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Yep. So the So this checklist is for you to fill out after they filled out all the documents. So this is like the top cover sheet. I would hand this to the new employee, they'd fill it out and I'd say, yes, they did this, yes, they did this, yes, they did this, yes, they did this. And then I'd have them sign right here saying that you received all this, yes? They sign it, and then we sign it, and we keep it. So this is kind of the last page to fill out after all these documents are filled out. This is the top cover summary checklist page. Okay?
All right, moving on to the new hire forms. Originally, this was, this page is the information from 3 pages that I've condensed down to 1. So all the fields need to be signed out and signed at the bottom. You'll see the employee's information at the top, their emergency contact and name of their doctor in the middle, and the equal opportunity statement at the bottom. So nothing has changed on these forms. I just brought it down to 1 to reduce the repetitiveness.
If you can
Right.
fill yours out while we're doing ours now, because we're missing information from everybody in this room. So you'll need to fill out your information to turn into Celine.
So the next page in your packet is going to be the W-4. There is a new W-4 for 2018. It is now 4 pages long, but we only need the first page back. So the other pages are going to be instructions, worksheets, things along those lines to help the employee figure out how to fill out the form. So you're going to give them all 4 pages, but this is the only page I need back. So to fill out this form properly, boxes 1 through 3 are supposed to be completely filled out with their legal name. The address that they're going to put in here is the address that they want their paychecks to go to. So the next section, do I need to pause while we're filling out, or?
No, we're listening.
You guys got any questions about that section? No? Okay.
The next section is going to have the 2 options for withholdings. They're going to declare their allowances or they're going to mark themselves exempt. Most people declare allowances and that number goes into box 5. If they want additional money withheld from their paycheck, that goes into box 6 and nothing would go into box 7. I see a lot of people like total into box 7 and that makes the W-4 invalid. Box 7 is used if you're going to declare exempt status. If that's the case, you would fill out box 7 with the word exempt and you would not put anything in boxes 5 or 6. So if you...
Let me recap that, make sure I'm following along.
Okay, so there's
If
2
I have any
options.
allowances, if I have any allowances, if I have any allowances, I would put that in box 5, which was
Yes.
came up one of the other pages, correct?
Your allowances are only going to go onto box 5.
Okay. Then if I want any other amount, dollar amount withheld, I would put that there. And
You
then
would put that in box 6.
And then if I wanted to be exempt from withholding anything, I would write in box 7 exempt. But more cases than not, that's not the case. Is that accurate?
That's correct. I don't see a lot of exempt W-4s. That is their option. If that's the case, they will not put anything in boxes 5 or 6. Go ahead.
David will not allow that.
That's not an option.
Okay. So
Okay, well, that brings me to my next point. We are not allowed to help them fill out a W-4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us, David.
You
Yeah.
cannot tell them what to put where. You cannot tell them they cannot claim exempt.
Tell us your-
That is not allowed. So they have to fill this out on their own. The other 3 pages are instructions and worksheets to help them fill out this form.
So on that, I've had guys try to go exempt and they try to tell David, you can't tell me what to do. The next day, David told me to fire him. So I'm just letting you guys know, if somebody wants to go exempt, just try to sway them the other way because David will let them go. No matter who they are.
Okay,
No.
well, again, we cannot tell them how to fill out their form.
Hold on.
That is up to them. That is their personal taxes. So,
Right.
No,
there's a
you're
history, but legally, we cannot tell them what to put there.
Correct. So,
So,
hold on, Kathleen, because I know Damien has a question about things. So I just, in summary, as if an employee is filling this out, we cannot tell them what to put or not to put. If they put exempt, we just say, thank you, because you're exempt, we will need to contact our payroll department, make sure that they're aware of this. Then we all know what the consequences are, is that David Schmidt will look at that and say, hey, we will need to make a choice of whether we want to have exempt people or not have exempt people. We'll make that choice at that time, and that goes through Dave Legier and Schmidt and Kathleen.
That just means that they don't take
They
any
take
taxes.
zero taxes out.
yes.
So when they do that, all it does is create a bunch of paperwork for Dave because they don't fucking pay taxes through the whole year, and then now he's got to garnish their checks. I've been here 5 years. I haven't seen him do it yet.
Correct. And what I want to be delicate about, because we are recording this and other people are going to be listening to this, that legally,
Legally, he can, nobody.
people can fill out whatever they need to fill out. It's their taxes. It's their right. If they choose to write exempt, that's fine. We as a company have a choice of continuing to have them be employed or not have them be employed.
Kathleen, just explain how it needs to be filled out. If they fill it out incorrectly, do we let them know that's not the right way?
if it's incorrectly filled out, yes, you will need to give them another W-4 to fill it out again. So, like I said, a common thing I see is they'll total up, an exemption and things like that again into box 7. That is no longer valid. If they cross a bunch of stuff out to the point we really can't understand what their indication is, they'll need to do it again.
So we just need to have extra forms on hand. So we can't tell them which way to do it, but when they do it wrong, we can tell them it's wrong and redo it.
Correct.
Right.
And so wrong would be if in box 5 I put 100, and in box 6 I put 200. In box 7 I said, well, that's 100, 200, 300. That's not accurate, and they would have to redo it. You have to say, no. Only box 5, only box 6, 7 meant for exempt. You either write exempt or not exempt. And if they choose exempt, you say, thank you. I need to inform my payroll department, and we'll make. And that's
We'll
all
go
you
from
need.
there.
You just pass it to the payroll department, and Schmidt and Kathleen and Legier will handle it from there.
So if it was somebody that you really liked and you wanted them to keep a job with this company, you would say, put 9 allowances in.
Legally, you cannot tell them how to fill out this form. That's going to be my final rule on that.
You'll put the company at risk if we say, hey, you should put 9 down.
Right.
Because then they'll go, hey, look, I put 9 down because the guy that hired me told me I should put 9 down, and I was fearful I was going to lose my job unless I put 9 down. And I go, then DMS is going to be legally responsible. You're going to be legally responsible, saying that you influenced how someone's taxes. And Uncle Sam is not very forgiving. So you need to let them make an informed choice. Say, put down what you want, and then you just tell Kathleen, hey, this person put this down. You just have to make sure that it's accurate, right?
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Damien has a question still. Damien, what was your question, or was it answered?
No, where do we get this new hire pack?
In the cloud.
It's in the cloud in the human resources folder.
So pause for a
Where is
second.
the cloud?
Okay,
Don't
pause
have
for a
this in the
second.
cloud.
Pause. Okay. So Kathleen and everybody that's in our Florida office, nobody here has access to the cloud.
Correct.
Only I have access to the cloud, and Celine has access to the cloud. No Foreman or Dave Legier have access to the cloud. So telling them that it's in a file cabinet somewhere in the cloud is not useful for our Foreman. So
We can put it on PlanGrid, correct, Dickie?
yeah, so what we can do is we can have 2 choices as Foreman. 1, we can email you the PDF. 2, we can put it in PlanGrid. 3, we can give you hard copies, so you have extra copies. Okay, so Damien, your choice is to receive a PDF, to put it, I can have it put in PlanGrid and a PDF, or we can send you hard copies.
Chelsea, would you mind emailing it to them for this presentation purpose?
Yeah, that either one works for me. You can put it on, email it to us, or send it on the plan grid.
Okay,
That works.
so I will do both. So we will email all of our foremen the new hire packets, which Chelsea can do, is email all of our foremen the new hire packets. You'll receive the PDF, but it's going to be the full packet. Okay?
All right. Are we ready to move on to the next document?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So the next document in the packet is the I-9. This is a requirement from the Department of Homeland Security. This document is used to establish identity and employment authorization. The first page is filled out by the employee completely and signed. In this example, I have selected a U.S. citizen, but if other selections are made, then those boxes should be filled in completely as well. For example, if they select number 3, they'll need to fill in their alien registration number. Or if they select number 4, they'll need to fill in one of those 3 options as well. And then it's a signature and date at the bottom. The last section is only filled out if a translator is used to help the employee fill out this form.
Can you let me see where that's at on the form. Are you talking about right down there underneath the gray box?
Yes, underneath the gray box is for a translator. So the employee will fill out until the gray box.
So everything underneath the gray box is just going to remain blank unless they have a translator.
Correct.
Okay. So I have a few questions, Kathleen, just to clarify. So as an employee, this is the immigration piece, right? Verifying that they're a U.S. citizen or that it's okay for them to work inside the United States.
That's
so
correct. Identity and employment authorization.
There you go. Identity and employment. So they fill out section 1. Then there's the next part where they have to fill out either that they're a U.S. citizen or they're a non-citizen national of the United States, and there's some instructions. Or they have lawful permanent residence. If they have permanent residence, is referred to as a green card or a certain number that they would do. They would put that number there. And then 4 is an alien authorized to work. They would put their
They would put one of those 3 numbers in there.
Okay.
All right.
Any questions about that?
So the next page in the I-9 is going to be the acceptable documents. This is a list of acceptable forms of ID. We cannot require a driver's license and social security card. I've heard that a few times. The employee can provide any documents on this form. So the way that this form works is they can provide one document from column A, like a passport, or they have to provide a form from column B and column C. For example, a driver's license and a birth certificate, or a driver's license and a social. So if their document comes from list A, it's just one document. If their document's going to come from list B, then they also have to provide one from C or vice versa. But again, we cannot require which documents that they give us.
Okay, so something that you're saying is very important there, Kathleen. So in your packet, you're going to see the I-9 form, and then on the next page behind it, you'll see a list of documents that it's okay to use. Okay? Here, where it says, I need to produce documents from list A. Here's all the documents you can produce from list A. And they need to produce one from list B or C. You have to do list A or B and C. Is that correct, Kathleen? That they need to produce one from list A and one from list B or C? Or
They have to produce one from list A, or they have to produce B and C.
okay.
So that means if they got just A, they only need one.
Correct.
So B and C doesn't apply. But if they don't have A, so B and C apply.
Correct. So let me make sure it's a good question and good point. So if I have a U.S. passport, what list is that on?
That's the very first one on list A. So if they give us a U.S. passport, that is all that we need.
That's all we need. Now, what if they said, oh, I usually turn in my driver's license and social security card. If they typically do that, if somebody says, oh, that's what I have on me,
that's fine.
Driver's license on. It's on B, and social security card is on C. So if you have a passport, that's all you need. And if you have a driver's license, social security card, that fulfills list B and C. You may have other forms of identification. But what I heard you say, Kathleen, is that we do not require them. So you can't say, hey, we have to have driver's license, social security card. That's not accurate. We say, hey, if you have a driver's license and social security card, we can't process that. But it's whatever documents that you want to provide. If they say, well, I want to use my passport, you say that will work. Because that fulfills on list A. And then you fill out that in the list B section here. Okay? Any questions? All right, thank you.
So I just have a few notes regarding IDs. They cannot be expired. So if you have an expired driver's license, it will not be accepted. And they must be present. That means you have to physically have the card. I cannot accept copies of the document or a picture on their phone. You have to physically have the card with them. And the names also need to match. So if you had somebody whose name recently changed because they got married, that we cannot accept two documents whose last names don't match. If they're providing a birth certificate, it needs to have a seal on it. So it's not the birth certificate that has the cute little footprints on it. It's the seal that is the one that we're looking for. A note on social security cards. They cannot have additional writing on them. So you can see on the example I put here, the social security card on the left has a writing that says valid for work only with DHS authorization. This is not an acceptable social security card. The one on the right, where it just has the name, signature, and sometimes there's a date, that is a valid social security card. So when you're collecting these IDs from the guys, I need a copy of the front and the back of the IDs. This needs to be emailed to me on the employee's first day. If these documents cannot be provided in 3 business days, legally, the employee cannot work for us. I cannot pay them if I don't see an ID within 3 business days. This is per the Department of Homeland Security, not me being, thorough on the paperwork.
So you're required to pay them for the 3 days, but then you have to let them go?
If they cannot provide ID in 3 days, they cannot come back to the job site until they provide us that ID.
Okay. So if they have worked for 3 days in the meantime, that's what they'll be paid that 3 days.
They'll be paid for those 3 days. But that's it.
Yeah. The recap what you said, Kathleen, is that as foreman, when you're hiring new people on, and that's where Dave Legier and everybody that we're bringing on board, your role as a foreman is to make sure that you're in legal compliance. You are the person that has to verify that the documents that they're giving you are valid, because you're a representative of the company saying that I'm approving that this person can work at the company because they've turned those documents in. That's your role to go by. I gotta look at it, I gotta make sure that this is right, I make sure that it's right. If you have any questions about like, I'm not sure if this is okay, again, take pictures of the front and back of the document, send it in, and contact Kathleen with questions. Hey, I don't know if this is right. Can you confirm that? If a person comes in and they say, hey, I want to start working, but I don't have my documents, I don't have my driver's license or social security or passport or any of my documents on me right now, you can say, okay, I need to get that within 3 business days. After 3 business days, we can no longer keep you employed. You have to get this turned in. We prefer them to have it on day 1, but if they said, oh, I have my driver's license, but I'll bring my social security card tomorrow, that's acceptable. You have to remember to get the social security card, verify that it's right, turn that in. But after 3 days, there's a risk. They should not be working without appropriate documents, because we're saying having people work, but we haven't verified that they're U.S. citizens. Make sense? The Homeland Security is going, look, we got to keep clamped down to make sure that everybody's in compliance. Okay? If you have any questions about that, you can contact Kathleen and go do a deeper dive about any questions you've got around, well, I'm not sure, you would contact Kathleen.
Okay. So then the last page of the I-9 is filled out by the foreman or whoever is administering this new hire paperwork. So,
When you say the last page, let me make sure I'm on page 2 of 3.
correct.
Here, she said last page. This is where we'll fill out.
This is something.
Correct. Well, they could fill out, you could verify. So if you hired me, I could say, oh, I fill out that I'm gonna use my passport, here's my passport number, this and that. I give this to you, Foreman, hey, here's my passport. You take a picture of my passport to make sure that the information here and here is valid, is okay to be employed with.
I would advise that whoever is administering this paperwork fill this page out, just because it's a little confusing if you've never seen it before as an employee. Also, I've highlighted an area here in the middle of the page that's very important. It is a certification attesting that you, the foreman, or whoever is administering this paperwork, have examined the documents and presented the employee, presented by the employee, and they appear to be genuine and related to the employee to the best of your knowledge. So you can't send this form to me and ask me to sign it. I didn't see those IDs. You can't send it to Dave Legier if he's not there and ask him to sign it. He didn't see those IDs. Whoever physically holds those IDs and examines them should be filling out this page. So,
And we fill out that section.
the section below that certification.
Correct.
Somebody else has to sign this. You guys are the foremen, I know you guys are filling them out now. If you guys can that sign, you guys are authorized, or you've seen all those documents.
The employee, you can fill this out, and you need to fill this out.
Now, what is he saying?
I'm saying, if you guys are filling it out today for yourselves, you cannot sign. That's
We have to verify that you're okay to work.
I was just gonna ask Kathleen if she knows if you have my information or not, and then I don't have to fill this thing out.
We have quite a large spreadsheet of what information we're missing.
Correct.
You're under. But do you verify?
So if, I didn't bring the documents, like I didn't bring my passport, so
Correct. You got 3
you're
days.
not gonna complete this
Yeah,
thing.
3 days.
You got 3 days to put that in. Okay,
We'll shut this company down.
Yeah.
Just for you, Cole.
So we have a backlog of information that we got to catch up on some of our paperwork, which we're going to talk about more later. But this is the start of that process. The important point to note that you see this in bold. This is where you, as a representative for David Schmidt Company or DMS or DMS,
I would fill this out for a new, but I can't
Correct.
fill it out for myself.
Correct.
Right.
But as you filling it out for a new hire, this is where you legally become responsible. So that's why I'm trying to stress the point. If the government comes and says this guy's not right, they go, who's this person? Oh, Paul Elliott. Paul Elliott, you verified that so-and-so's documents were correct.
Yeah, the guy's really good at faking the ID.
Correct.
That's not my job.
Correct. Your job is to be sure that the documents are accurate. That's all. And you go, look, the documents are in compliance with this. If you feel there's anything suspicious, you contact Kathleen. Hey, this guy's sending me stuff. I'm going to send it over to you. Let me know. And then you'll take it from there. Okay?
Okay, so filling this form out, if they have a document from list A, so like we said in a passport, that's the only thing they need to fill out. You'll see here in this first column, list A. So that's how you would fill this form out if they brought just the one document from list A. If they have documents from list B and C, you'll fill out the columns here with the two different forms of ID. And note that some forms don't have an expiration date, like a social security does not have an expiration date. You can just leave that blank.
Oh, Social Security never has expiration.
That's what she said.
Correct. And she's saying it's okay. Just leave it
Just leave
blank.
it blank.
So just put in there social security number and all that, and that's that.
So now we're moving on to the next form.
Let me just check in with Damien. Damien, did you have any questions or Hugo? You guys good?
No.
Okay. So the next form in the packet is the MPN implementation notice. Employees need to sign one of these statements regarding their workman's comp. It's the same statement, one's in English, one's in Spanish. And this is going to be the end of the required forms. So just to recap, these are the required forms that I need back on the employee's first day of employment. We have the checklist. We have the new employee information. We have the W-4, the forms of ID, the 2 pages of the I-9, and the MPN implementation. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. Okay?
Okay.
So after that, in the packet comes the optional forms. They're optional.
Pause for a second, Kathleen.
Okay.
Any questions?
The employees, they're working at the company as now. If they need to mention, they have to fill all this and give it to.
Yes.
All right.
And we'll talk more. Celine's going to be the one hunting that down for all of our current employees. Okay? I'm just saying that you may have people come to you. You have to know what documents you need to turn to Kathleen. Okay? So on that last slide, she was saying these are the documents that Kathleen needs. Everything else in the packet you could give to them. Okay?
So there are 2 optional forms in the packet. If the employee chooses to fill them out, that's fine, and you'll send them to me along with the regular paperwork. So the first one of these forms is the state income tax withholding form. Just like a W-4, it is their withholdings for state of California income tax. If the employee does not turn this in, they'll just be entered for state taxes using their federal withholdings. But if they choose to change that up just for the state tax, this is the form they would use to fill that out.
Okay, so let me just make sure I got that straight. So the W-4 is for the federal government, which is the whole country. But on the state of California, if I wanted to hold something different, I would fill this form out if I wanted to withhold something additional on California. If not, whatever I put on the W-4 will apply to the U.S. and to the state.
Okay.
That's
The second optional form is a pre-designation of a physician, chiropractor, or acupuncturist. This is found in the Workman's Comp Guide. It's pretty deep in the required state documents, so I don't know if you have one there in front of you. But
No,
if,
we don't
Yeah.
have that. That's right now.
okay. If they choose to pre-designate, this would be the form that they would fill out and return. Just as I was auditing the existing documents, I don't know if I saw any of these filled out. And that's fine. Again, it's optional. So you may not see it very often, but if there's any questions about it, obviously you can give me a call. And then the rest of the packet is going to be the state required forms. This is things like brochures on family leave, sexual harassment, workman's comp, and we are legally required to provide these to each new hire. Like I said at the beginning, if they need Spanish documents, I have created a Spanish new hire packet, and it has all of the brochures in Spanish. So if they need that, we have that available as well. Okay.
So that's where we'll have some of those extra the thicker packets. You would give the employees that, so they have information so that they can research and do stuff at home to manage themselves. These are the critical documents, but the packet that we're going to be giving you, the hard copy was bigger. We'll be able to give you that, so you'll hand that out to the employees, and we can also make it available electronically.
Okay, so just my last notes about new hires and onboarding. All IDs and forms need to be sent to me on the employee's first day of work. If we have a situation like Dickie said earlier, where someone has their driver's license but not their second form of ID, I need to be contacted and let me know that we're expecting a social or a birth certificate, something like that, on the next day, so that we can follow up and make sure that we're not in default with that employee. Like I said, if something's holding you up, you need to contact me for an exception to this first day of work rule. I realize that you have leads on site that may be handling these tasks, the onboarding, the new hire forms, and that's fine. But ultimately, it is your responsibility as the foreman to get this into me.
Kathleen, so to reiterate that, every new hire has to be, Kathleen has to know about every new hire.
If they
So
want to
you
get
as the
paid.
foreman, I know Dave Legier knows about it, make sure Celine knows about it, Kathleen has to know about it and has to receive this paperwork on day one. So if you're hiring 3 new people, day one is going to be heavy paperwork day for you to make sure you get all this stuff in, get it sent over and into the system, okay?
What's the process of taking it and sending these? Do we have a fillable form by any chance?
We do?
Yes,
So-
These can be fillable on the iPad, so.
yeah,
Correct.
that's what we were talking about.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So we have this available so that you can fill it on your iPad. We have it on the hard copy. When they sign it, you can take a picture of each one of the pages and email that in. The hard copy needs to be turned into the office, meaning give it to Celine or give it to Dave Legier so that we have that hard copy as a backup record, and the photos can be sent, the electronic versions can be sent to Kathleen so she has a record of it, and then we'll take that from there.
Is there, what is the best method? I mean, just take a picture of it, email it like I do with keys, or is there?
Yeah, we'll talk more about
I know
the way
there's
this.
one called Cam Scanner that I've used.
I mean, if you can take a clear picture of it with your iPad or phone, you can email it to me page by page. That's fine. The most important thing is that it's legible and that I get it on the first day.
Good.
On day one.
Hey Kathleen,
Yes, ma'am.
part of your onboarding, does that include dispatching?
I will need a dispatch, and I know that you get those, so I'll need you to forward that over to me.
Not a problem.
Mm-hmm. And my last slide is on time card reminders. I don't know if you want me to go there right now, Dickie, or if there was something else in between.
Yeah, there was something in between. So all those that are on the video and listening, so our onboarding process may be changing over time, but right now this is our process, right? Is if you hire a new employee, You have them fill out the paperwork. Paperwork's need to be turned in on day one. Take pictures of it somewhere, get it off your plate, and get it into Celine's hands, Kathleen's hands. Get it off your plate, get that thing moving forward. In regards to the transfer from one system to the other system, we're going through double checking, making sure that we have all of our documents in order. Because we have missing documents, we're going to ask everybody to fill out new hire packets in the company to make sure we get all the latest, greatest documents. Okay? The person that's going to be doing that, one is going to be you as the foreman. Two, it's Celine. Celine is going to be going out to each one of your job sites, because I think we have something like 90 employees right now that they're missing a document or a picture of something. Do that. You're going to go on your job sites and get with your employee and say, hi, you need to make sure this document's filled out. Can I take a picture? So she's okay. Okay.
Yeah, but if you're really gonna pull that off, you're gonna have to let they come, so I can let the employees know.
Yes.
You better bring all your documents in.
Correct. Exactly. Well said. So Celine will be coordinating with you to get everybody all in one spot, either in your morning huddle or at some point in time say, hey, I need to meet with them for like 30 minutes. I need to go over all their documents. Yep. Sign, everything's okay. And then get that sent in so that make sure that we're double checked on our compliance. Right. Celine she has a whole roster. She'll be the one coordinating. Okay. Okay. Right.
I can help you.
Okay. Now, Kathleen, we're ready.
Yes.
So remember our time card process. Our way our current system is set up, we're doing it a certain way. Don't change anything yet, but on the horizon there may be changes. And Kathleen, you want to give us some feedback about the way payroll is currently being done.
Sure. Yeah. So as of March, I'm doing time cards now. Brooke is concentrating on more important things. So just as a last note, I wanted to discuss the time cards just briefly. Like Dickie said, the process is likely changing, but these are just some reminders, things that I've seen as I've taken this process over. So time cards and reimbursements are due no later than 9 a.m. on Monday morning. Whether you're calling that into Celine, you're emailing time, that needs to be done by 9 a.m. Monday morning. And when I get them later, it holds up the whole process. And if I get a group of people in after I've sent the spreadsheet to David, I have to get another approval from David, which I know you guys know it's kind of difficult to get a hold of him sometimes.
So that's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Correct.
By 9 a.m., all time cards and reimbursement, parking receipts, any of that has to be turned in. I think you guys. This is a reminder for all those in the video. That is the deadline. Anything past that needs special exception.
So again, like I said, with the documents, you are responsible for this. Even if you have, you as the foreman are responsible for this. Even if you have someone on site helping you out with this, it is your responsibility to get time cards and reimbursements in. Receipts. All reimbursements require receipts, not an invoice with a total at the bottom, not prepaid gas receipts. I need an actual receipt that shows what was purchased and like a zero balance at the bottom or a total and the payment that matches that. I see a lot of various things. We can't take screenshots of bank accounts. I need receipts. I've seen hotel receipts with, halfway through a stay. Or I'm sorry, that's not a receipt, that's a balance due. So, I need to see the total, the method of payment, all that good stuff. Anything turned in after the 9 a.m. Monday deadline should not be expected in that pay period. It can be expected in the next pay period. Unless it's something dire that I need to go hunt David down for, it can be expected in the next pay period. Like I said at the beginning, Brooke no longer does time cards, so you don't need to email any more time cards or receipts to Brooke. She gets plenty of emails every day. Everything gets emailed to the time at SF Interiors. That email address is monitored all day during business hours. I have it up right now, even though it's Thursday. Nothing should be coming into it. I have it up just in case something comes in. Now, if there is an urgent matter and you're worried that I'm not going to see your email, or maybe I'm at lunch and it needs to happen right away, you can call me. My phone number is on there. My extension is 111. Just call the main office. If I'm not in, somebody will call my cell phone and we'll make sure that it's taken care of right away. Okay?
Okay, any questions about receipts or reimbursements? Turning them in, so anybody that turns in receipts, say, hey, I gotta return this in.
I know.
There's an exception to the rule.
Correct, and that, if there's any exceptions, that has to be approved by Dave Legier and by Kathleen. So, talk to them if there's anything like that. But for the standard process for everybody that we're hiring, that's the process. So make sure that they're doing the work for you to give you the paperwork so that you can keep things rolling on the job.
Yeah, because some of the things, not all the foremans have gas cards or whatever, so they take turns putting $60 a week in generators and lifts and all that stuff, so they're not paying $320 a month.
And that's fine. I'm happy to reimburse, obviously for those things, but just make sure they're not providing a prepay receipt. Sometimes I'll see $100 prepay for gas. Well, I don't know that $100 of gas was actually purchased. If they went and pumped $60 and then went back in and collected those 40, that's something we have to keep an eye out for. So if they do prepay, we need the final receipt. They need to go back in and get the final receipt that shows they pumped X amount of gallons at X price to total $100 or whatever the case may be.
You got it.
Well, Kathleen,
Yes,
sometimes
sir.
on that when you pay at the pump and then they have no tape at the pump, you have to go inside. And when you go inside, that is what they give you is a prepaid receipt.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on the card or something.
Okay.
And what we would have to do in that case, thank you for that, Ben. If that happens, we just have to let Kathleen know, and it has to be approved by Dave Legier and Kathleen to know that this is what's happening. And if it's verified by our team, they'll figure out how to process that.
Okay. All right. That's just something I encountered. And
Okay.
hopefully I'll get my credit card.
Okay. So like I said, I'm just trying to make sure that we're not, doling out cash where we shouldn't be.
Correct.
Right.
All right.
got-
Any more
but-
questions on time cards or new hire form?
I got a question about the new hire.
Okay.
Sorry to go backwards, but
That's
I
okay.
look at the email that you guys just sent for the new hire packs, and there's 2 attachments. One has 52 pages and one has 46 pages. Which one do we need to print?
One is in English and one is in Spanish. The Spanish packet is a bit longer.
They both look English to me, or the first 2 pages.
The first pages are going to be in English because those are our custom DMS forms. I would like to have them translated at some point, but when I'm saying Spanish, I'm indicating more of the state required forms, like all the brochures at the end.
Okay, and then what pages of this do you need sent back to you?
I need all of the ones, like the ones that I listed earlier, the W-4, the I-9, the checklist. I can email that list out to everybody again.
Correct. So what we're going to do after this, we will send out just a quick synopsis. Here's the list of documents and page numbers that they are in the packet of the documents that you need to send in. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So that's for follow-up.
Yeah, we can include the PowerPoint too in case that would be helpful for reference down the line.
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to sign off here and get back to my auditing.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great day. Kathleen?
Does anybody need, after that, do we need like a 2-minute stretch break or anything?
Yes.
Let's do a 5-minute break. We're gonna do a 5-minute break, stretch, and then we're gonna go to the next section about daily field reports. Okay,
Allston. Stretch and flex.
Flex.
So everybody, welcome back. One of the topics that I wanted for us to talk about is that we've talked about new hires and onboarding process. One of the things we're also doing is that Celine's going to be moving into helping out in regards to project administration, helping out with iPads, documents, paperwork. So she's here as a support for you. She's also going to be moving into taking on the safety role, getting a lot of our documents in compliance, making sure we're implementing new things. So if you see Celine, she's going to be out visiting job sites, doing safety job walks. If there's incidents, we're creating that process right now. I just wanted you to know that Celine is going to be trained to be developed as one of our safety managers. Okay? Now the next topic is we're going to go into Plan Grid. So please grab your iPods and get Plan Grid opened up. One of the items that we talked about last month was using Plan Grid to update our sheets with RFIs and manage our drawings inside of Plan Grid. One of the additional features we briefly talked about was daily field reports. So as of this moment, starting today, every job has to fill out a daily field report. So every foreman that's working has to fill out a field report for the jobs that they're on. Okay? You may be doing this manually. You may be already filling out a daily field report on a piece of paper as general contractors require it. Other ones have been doing it electronically. Lots of different formats. Celine is going to guide us through how to fill out daily field reports on Plan Grid. Okay? All right, Celine. Take it from there. Let me
Take it away, Celine.
Yeah. Hey, can everybody on the screen see the presentation? Yeah?
Yes.
Hugo, okay. Great.
Yes.
Plan Grid. Field reports and basic overviews.
Just
Right.
yeah.
When you open up Plan Grid, this is what you see. Not this exact thing, but do you see something similar to this?
Yes,
Downloaded in cloud? Yes?
that's the projects page.
On it. So there are two areas.
Yeah, I got it.
There's an area that you've been assigned to and you've already downloaded, making everything visible. And then you might see something down here that says in the cloud. You've been invited to it. You need to go. Yeah, projects you can view.
Can you tell us we haven't downloaded? It's like Moscow is good on the bottom of it.
I'm gonna get there. So you can view any project simply by clicking on the projects you've downloaded. You need to download, will be in the cloud. And you can do that by simply tapping the project that you've been invited to, and it'll give you an option. Download, and it will give you the second option that says options. Don't worry about that, that goes in depth, like if you only want to view and no markups or anything, that's what that is. But you guys want to download everything because that has all of our documents in there. If you see that icon by your project, that red exclamation point, that means there is an update. Always updates. That is latest, greatest sheets, RFIs, anything important, documents, schedules, contact. Always update, please. So you have the latest. Now, when you touch one of your projects, this will be the view you get. So please touch your projects you've been invited to. Already there?
These are-
At the bottom of the page, you'll see a set of tools. Tap field. You should, after tapping the field report, you should see this view. There are two areas. The top part, the top gray part is review, and the lighter gray part at the bottom to review past logs. If you tap the icon in the dark gray area, you can create a new daily field report.
You don't have to. Do it every time you just copy it and change the stuff. Everybody else.
Thank you. That's right. With my phone.
It'll show all your dailies and everything.
Jalapenos on that one. Yeah, buddy.
Huh?
I love spicy. No, really? How do you know?
You have to create a new field report.
So many vitamins and hot sauce. Ton. That's why Mexicans don't get cancer as much because they eat so much spicy stuff.
Did you tap it?
So I got it.
Okay, so let's check in. So, hey, Damien,
Yes.
are you where we're at on the presentation?
Yeah, we're looking on Hugo's iPad because we're watching on my iPad.
Yeah? Okay. so
Did
you're
you
there?
guys tap the create a new report?
Say what?
Yeah, so we're gonna create a new field report, okay?
Yes.
So this is the view you should be seeing. If you scroll up, you can see additional information.
Back up one step. See right there.
Please, I'm gonna walk you through each area you guys see right now. The first part is to edit the field report. This lets you fill out a blank daily report. This is the date. The date will automatically generate on there, just like when you open your phone or your iPad, you see the date. I don't know how they do it, they just do it.
Can that be changed?
The date can be changed. Say you didn't do a daily field report yesterday, you can go in there and manually change that date. So it matches the field report.
And save.
So, Lee, if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly, is that if I'm working, it's Tuesday, and I need to fill out a report for yesterday.
For Monday.
When I create a new one for Monday, I go in, I hit new, I would change the date for the date that the field report that I'm filling out. So I would make sure that that date is for that field report.
Does that make sense?
Makes total sense. I never do that, so usually you'll see on one date, I'll skip the
You
date.
haven't done it today, but you will do it now,
You'll see
right?
on the 20th, I did two of them, one for the day before.
Right.
Yeah, change the date because it's 2 for that date.
Well, no, they would report a correct date for the day that it was made for. So, you open it up, see, oh, this.
Correct, that's
when you click-
passed.
When you click on it, you'll see, oh, wow, on the 20th, he did a daily report for the 19th.
So if
But
we're on
moving forward,
Moving forward, I want you to
Adjust
change
the date.
Got it?
for the date that you're working on. So if you're doing the past weeks, like change the date, when you fill out a new one, change to the date for that field report, so it's a match,
Got it.
okay?
So we started Monday, right?
No, we're starting today. You better talk to Schmidt about that.
Okay, what,
Is a description. Use something like the day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but if you're on a larger project, for example, Kuya Delta is a large project, right?
larger than.
Large
Pretty
enough.
big.
let's pause for a second, because I think you're bringing up a really good point. So in the description field, can you see your description field?
Yeah, that's something I never fill out.
Okay, if you're on a smaller project, what we would ask you to do is to type in the day of the week in the description. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's gonna help us when we sort through ours to say, oh, I need to see the ones for Monday. Oh, here's the Monday ones. So if you put in your description, put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, whatever day. So that way it helps you to go, gosh, it was last Wednesday, we went on break, or it helps us look, because sometimes I don't remember the date, like the 19th, was that a holiday, or what day did we start work? Oh, that was on a Monday or a Tuesday. So moving forward, we're asking everybody in the description to put Monday, Tuesday, the day of the week. Okay? If you're on larger projects, where you have multiple foremen, example would be Sonol. There's how many different buildings? Shops, 5, 6, admin, 4, 5 different buildings. Just as an example, if you had a foreman for every building, and a was filling out his field report, and you were filling out your field report, and another foreman was filling out a field report, or a plastering superintendent was filling out their field report, if it was a large enough project, you would use the description to say this field report is covering the plaster scope. This field report is covering the work that was performed on this. One of the past projects we did was VNGC, the hospital. We had multiple floors with multiple foremen. So foreman that was up on the 3rd floor was doing a field report for the work that was performed on the 3rd floor, and another foreman was filling out a field report for work that was done on the 1st floor. So this is where you put it in description. Oh, this is my field report for Tuesday for the 1st floor work performed. So if you're on larger projects, you would use this box to fill in.
You want the day first and then the location.
Day and location. If you're not on small, just put in the day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you're on a project that everybody's reporting to you for you to fill out your field report, you just put in the day because you're covering all the scope of work on it.
Definitely.
Okay?
We've done it before, not here, but where on a big project, they all fill their dailies out, and then they would turn it into me, which would be the super on that job, and then I would fill out a whole one.
You would condense it all
in one and clean it all up, and then send it in.
Correct.
I don't know if we will.
Well, when we get on large enough projects, we will look and evaluate that, because the project manager might be able to help with that.
Right.
So we'll
Exactly.
be able to figure that out. Okay?
Sweet.
So that's what that field is.
And the weather. Weather will automatically generate as well based on the project's zip code. When projects are uploaded into PlanGrid, the PM, the estimators will upload the projects and they'll put in the zip code. So you guys will have the weather for your project. Don't have to worry about it.
Also, the day for your that you put in for your date changes the weather. So if you don't have the right date selected, you're putting the wrong weather for the wrong day.
So if it's Friday and I'm filling out the field report for Monday, if I change the date, it'll tell me the weather that was happening on the Monday. If I don't change the date, it's going to say, hey, here's your report for 2 Fridays. And I'm like, no, I need the report to reflect for the Monday. Thank you.
Add photos. Add photos like sign-in sheets or progress photos of work being performed on your job site. You know, David loves to see photos. This would be a perfect place to add them.
Lots of photos. You're walking around in the daytime with your tablet, you see anything, pull this up. Where you are, attach all kinds of photos.
Additional notes. This is for the project manager. It's also visible when you submit to the GC. So don't sit there and put the GC was being a jerk, because when you submit, the GC will see that, oh, you think I'm a jerk. Why couldn't you tell me to my face?
So, Celine, what you're saying is that there's an additional note field.
Yes.
For any note that you want to make outside of your field report, because you're going to fill out your field report, this is an additional note field. If you wanted to make anything in particular, you could make a note, and it lets us in the office see that note field. It's also visible when we print some other stuff out. So we're just saying, be professional in your language, filling out that.
It will be visible.
We just want to make you aware there is an extra space if you need to type extra special notes.
So this is kind of a cover page for the
Daily.
daily.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, this is when on your dailies. If you're on your planner ads, you should, you're just walking through what the buttons do.
Yeah, but I'm saying, submit it. Do you see two different pages? Like
Yes.
this is showing?
Yes.
It does,
Yeah.
it shows both.
Yes.
I'll show
So
you.
that-
It's in my slides. Like my little brother.
I
Ask
can
all these
submit,
questions
I don't know
in
what it looks like after that.
Oh, I'll show you. I
We're
did
gonna
that.
walk through that. Good question.
Thanks. Copy report. This copies the report that you're currently in. So you guys are starting a new one right now. If you guys hit copy, you are copying the report that you guys are in. So if you didn't fill anything out, you're copying a blank.
Cold water in here? No, it's not. You sure? You sure? There's nothing in there.
Discard draft.
No.
If you're like, I don't like what I put in here, I don't know what I was thinking, you could delete it. Deletes it, doesn't save, no draft, nothing. Now we're gonna walk into filling in a daily field report.
Okay, so you want us to click the
Click
edit?
the edit button. When you click the edit button, a blank DMS daily field report should pop up. Everything in blue, you can fill out on your iPad. It's touchable. As soon as you touch a button or a blue area, your keypad will show up at the bottom and you can start typing your little heart away. Is everything going well? Yes. Awesome, awesome. If you notice at the bottom of the field report, there's an area broken into two areas. Top area is for daily duties performed, and the bottom area is for any issues or delays. Sometimes you guys come across the wall you guys can't put up due to electricians or plumbing. You guys would put that there. That gives us eyes. Say, hey, you know, we can't continue our scope of work because there's an issue. Yeah.
So you see what she's talking about? So there's a box here and a box here. Put in framed walls. Put your issue here. RFI 738 is holding up stuff. So for writing your description and stuff, and that's for any kind of alerts, you'd put that down there.
This also, the bottom area also gives our office eyes on what's happening on the project. Sometimes we just get calls and we're like, well, we didn't know you guys were delayed. You guys didn't inform us.
So Celine, if you're saying if we experience any delays or if there's any schedule conflicts, like you attended a 3-week look-ahead meeting, and the schedule shows you starting someplace, but you're not starting someplace, you could put that in your daily field report by saying, schedule that was submitted at the sub-meeting does not reflect our actual start date. We're starting in this area, not these other areas.
Correct.
You could post that right there, and it gets everybody's attention.
Definitely.
We just had it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Revising it.
Perfect. Any time report?
No. Keep them.
At the very top of the report, you'll see a little save icon. Do you guys see that?
Yep.
If you like what you see, your report is awesome, save.
So that's it.
That saves it.
Just
That's
clear.
Yep, boom, save. And once you save, it will bring you back to the editing page. And here again, if you scroll down, if you didn't add a picture, but you're like, oh man, I really want to add a picture to reflect the delays or just show what we've been doing for the day, you can always also add it there.
So I have a question. So what if if I'm a foreman and I'm already filling out a hard copy because the general contractor wants to see my field report every day?
Yes.
I need to fill a field report every day. Do I have to double up inside of PlanGrid? Like, do I have to retype everything that's out on that?
If it's visible and we can read it legibly, then you could just take a picture.
So I could go in here, hit add a new field report, put the dates, go in, add photo, and take a picture of the field report that I already written out by hand.
Yes.
and that would suffice.
Yes, if it's legible.
The big boss stuff. We're right.
So right now,
But if you're like Herman Construction, for example, even though we have our dailies, they make you handwrite their daily every day. So you can fill out our dailies and snap a picture of theirs, just so you
Yes.
know they're matched and added together. But ours needs to be typed.
That's the first step.
Because Sergio was sending them in handwritten.
so that's what we want to do. So if there's any questions about field reports, again, talk with Dave Legier. If there's any exceptions dealing with general contractors, paperwork, this field report is designed to keep our office and our team, us protected as a company, saying we did all this stuff.
Yes.
Okay?
So then I saved that one.
It should have brought you back to the editing screen, right? After you save.
So when I saved that one, the new one, it
Always show that.
So
yeah, that's the one that I
That's
saved. I saved. So I saved.
okay. And yep, so you're in the right spot.
You're in the right spot.
Don't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't submitted it yet.
No.
Right now, it's just saved. So you wrote the stuff and you're coming back and you're right there. And this is where if you wanted to add
Add
photos,
pictures,
you
yeah.
add photos.
Oh, anything.
Okay.
Yes. Anything else you want to
Yeah, go
add?
to device library.
Stay with the slide. Okay.
I'm gonna hit up all those fields, player. Submit. This will give you your last chance to submit. Because once you submit, you could not go back and edit. So again, if everything looks good, submit. Once you submit, do you see the submit button?
So when you hit submit, Celine, if I'm understanding what you're saying, when you hit submit, it gets stored in PlanGrid
Yes.
and it's available on the project for all of our DMS project management team to see. Okay, so once you hit submit, it's like turning it into the office. You hit submit, it's turned into the office. We can now see it and look at it. Everything before that was in draft phase, which we can't see until you hit submit, and now we're looking at the final version.
I
Okay?
want to bring up one last, you guys look at the very, very bottom. It says, once submitted, your report will be automatically sent to Dickie and myself.
And Chelsea.
And Dave Legier.
And David Schmidt.
Yes.
So you don't have to create another email to keep us informed. You just hit
Yes.
submit,
Submit,
and
we know.
the whole team's aware of everything that's going on.
It says me and Dickie because we were playing around in my Celine projects, so that's how I got all my photos. That's why it says just me and Dickie.
Right?
Yes.
Look at the picture.
Thank you.
Oh.
Now, yes, there's more, mijo.
We're close.
We're almost done. Do you guys see the icon? Right there, it's a little square with the arrow pointing up. That icon allows you to a PDF or a shareable link to the GC.
So Celine, if I'm understanding what you're saying that once I hit submit, I've notified our office.
Yes.
But what if the GC needs a copy of this? Because I just filled this out. If I just filled out electronically, what if I want to give the general contractor a copy? I would press this button here
Yes.
and it would send it. This is how I would send it to the general contractor electronically. Okay.
Yes, and you will have an option to send it as a PDF or a shareable link. So preview PDF allows you to preview the PDF before sending. What it will look like. Remember you asked me, Paul, what it looks like? The cover page, our daily report, that's what the GC will see as a PDF.
It'll come in as 2 pages.
It'll come in as 2 pages. So if everything looks good, you reviewed your PDF, send. It'll give you an option on how to send your PDF. Email it. Send it in notes. Send it in an email, please. It's gonna give you some options. How many pages do you want to send him? Do you only want to send him the cover page? Do you only want to send him the daily field report? Send all the pages. He might want to see everything.
Except for the-
Annotation. These are markups on drawings. I don't see us sending drawings out with our daily field reports. You know, when you guys mark up walls and stuff like, hey, this area is constraining us. We're not gonna see that. Drawings or maps.
So when you add photos to it and you email it, the photos aren't going?
No, the photos are going, I'm talking about the annotations on a set of drawings. Like when you open a project and you're viewing
Oh, right.
the architectural designs or whatever, you're like, oh, I need to hit them with a constraint right here. You know, that's not in our daily field reports
Got it.
because we're not adding. If that there is, you know,
If that was part of your
yeah,
At the
our
bottom box
issues,
where you
yeah,
got a
our
red,
delays, then
and
yeah,
we got a delay, and then you want to take a picture of it
yes.
from Plan Grid and,
Yep.
and highlight the area that the problem is.
Yep, and then you can send it with editable, you know, annotations, you know. They're embedded, they can't move it, they're there to view and see. Or you can add a little summary on the side. That gives you the option on how to send that.
Got it.
Okay, again, everything looks good when you hit the send button. This is what it looks like when you're sending it to GC. The subject automatically appear with the date and the DMS daily report. And you hit send.
Oh, so this is the email that gets sent out to say, oh, this is where I type their name, and the subject line comes up.
Yep.
And there's the PDF, and it puts your signature in.
Man.
Bam, done.
I like it.
Or if you want to send a shareable PDF, shareable link.
Set all these guys up with signatures. With
We'll
our
do that.
logo, so
I tried to do it on the iPad. I couldn't add the logo on the iPad.
Oh,
So, yeah, we can look at that. So you mentioned if you wanted to send a PDF to them, that's how you send a PDF.
Yes.
What's a shareable link do?
A shareable link will lead them straight to Plan Grid and will only open up the link to our daily field report.
so that way, I get it, they don't see it, but they have. to see it.
Yeah, and it'll download for them to view.
So if I'm understanding that it's a shortcut that you could say, just send them the link on their computer screens. When they hit the link, they can then download it.
Yes. And have
So instead of you open it up and say, send it as a PDF, they can just go in on the link. It opens up and a thing says Plan Grid. They hit that and it says download, and they can download it.
yes.
So the question is, do we want them to do the work where they download, or do we want to send them the PDF?
Just goes for
You have either or. Those are your two options.
Field report and logs. You go back to the beginning, you'll see the two different areas. This area right here is the DMS daily report. This allows you to view past reports you've submitted or drafts.
Okay, so that's a good. So you're saying that if I'm going into a subcontractors meeting, or if I'm going to go to a PCO meeting, they're going to talk about changes, and they say, hey, you haven't done so and so, I can look, and this keeps track of all my field reports
All of them
that I've ever done. So if I've been working for
Or
3
drafted.
months, this is my log that I can go in and go, hey, here's my log that I sent to you guys on so-and-so date. It tells me that's my backup. So I have every field report at my fingertips. This is where, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, the top part, my drafts, those are your drafts. Those have not been saved whatsoever. So you can go back, edit, play. Those haven't been saved. Now, right here, submitted. These ones have been saved and submitted and sent to our office. Got it? Now, sometimes you guys have the guys work the same thing for the whole week. Like, hey, we're taking care of building A, we're only doing drywall. That's what we're gonna be focusing on for the entire week. I know a lot of you guys like to copy paste. Copy the report that you're currently in, remember? So if you filled out that one for Monday, you know you're gonna have 5 guys there, 8 hours, we're only doing drywall. then you guys can copy the report.
Copy it, and then the next day you can bring that back up and then just edit it.
Yep.
Change the date, change
Edit,
whatever you
any
want.
area you need to edit,
So you're not
save,
filling out the whole thing over
Yep.
again.
submit, share.
Yay,
Yay.
pizza time.
All right, any questions?
Need help?
I would have this, not right now. Maybe.
All right, so the expectation is that starting today, so today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, the next 2 days, I'd like for you to fill out your field reports of the work that you did so you get a chance to play with it. Use it, ask questions, figure it out, so that Monday, everybody in the company is moving forward with daily field reports so that our office can see progress photos, and just you can show the work that's being done on your project. Okay? Okay? The other thing that we're going to talk about to kind of finish out is progress photos. So where we're using PlanGrid, PlanGrid's a great tool for everybody that's a foreman that's managing the projects out in the field to be able to show everybody in us, David Schmidt, me, everybody in the office, what's going on. Because we're doing different billings, we're looking at different stuff. So this is the communication tool that we're going to be using so we have visibility. Now with that, progress photos. Again, everything that you do on the iPad, you can do on your iPhone. The iPad's just a big version of your iPhone. If you prefer using your iPhone, use your iPhone to do everything that you're going to be doing. Just iPad gives you more visual real estate. So progress photos. So last month, last Foreman's meeting, we talked about progress photos. So I've been watching that some progress photos have been coming in, just taking pictures. I'd like, at a minimum, to be doing that once a week. Once a week on a Friday, just say, hey, here's the exterior part of the building, here's the work that's been performed. Again, this is not to create a bunch of tedious work. It's just to show kind of what we're doing and being able to do that. Okay? So I'm going to keep encouraging you to do progress photos. If you're busy doing stuff, Celine, when she's out on your job sites as the safety manager, she's also going to be taking photos. So coordinate and communicate with her and say, hey, look, go take progress photos, and she'll go on the job site and take progress photos for you to show the office the work that's being done. Okay? Next topic is progress map. I don't know if you guys got a call from David Schmidt asking about progress maps. So one of the things that we were using in the past was what we wanted to start implementing is that if you had a floor plan, traditionally I would highlight to show how much work I got done. You know, because I was measuring productivity of crews. It's like, okay, look, this is done topped out. I still got backing here. So we're going to be able to start implementing that in PlanGrid so that once a week you just go through and say, okay, this is all the work that's done. So we can kind of snapshot, say this is all the work that's done on the floor plans, to be able to do that from the floor plans to the reflected ceiling plans. So I want to give you a heads up that Damien and I have been working on, Damien Hugo and I have actually been working on creating that process. So our next Foreman's meeting, we're going to be going over progress maps and how to update them inside of PlanGrid. Okay? Okay. The next subject is safety vests. So last month we had new shirts, the new shirts that we had printed out and made. We're going to be getting safety vests. So the ones that David here has right now, we're going to get some safety vests that have DMS on the back. So the foremans are going to get vests, and the field, we're going to have vests available for the field. So if you want, the foreman's vests are a higher quality than the guys out in the field. So we're going to have safety vests that have DMS logos on the back so that our guys can wear safety vests or wear the safety shirts. Okay? So that's coming down the pipe, and I think that's going to be happening in the next like 2 to 3 weeks. The other topic that I wanted to talk about is future work. Okay, so as a forecast, anybody watching the video, that we currently, let me just go through all the jobs that we have on our plate right now. 1375 Sutter is complete. We've got the ambulance care on 6th floor that's active. Beale Air Force Base. Beale Air Force Base, we've made a shift. Sergio's going to be focusing, working on a different project. Dave Legier for the next like 2 weeks is going to be working on Beale Air Force Base. And what that means is that as he's working on Beale Air Force Base, he's not going to be as available as he normally is. So the request is that all foremen know that he's going to be in the nitty-gritty on Beale Air Force Base. So if you need any materials, you need any additional support, contact Dave Legier, but he may not be that available. The next step is to contact the office. The project management team, Allison, Vanessa, Chelsea, are here to help you to get what you need done in regards to that. So we have to kind of, as he gets this workload on Dave Legier, the team's going to have to step up and handle some of the other stuff around him to support him while he's focused on Beale Air Force Base. We still have Vice that we're working on, Burke Warehouse, Seltzer Elementary School, Davies South Tower, Delta El Cerrito Del Norte BART Station is going to be coming up. Guidance for the Blind, which Paul's the foreman for that. Kuwait Delta, Kern Health, which is a $6 million project down in near Bakersfield. Yep. So that project coming up for SC Anderson. There's the amount there. We also have a project, Los Medanos College, which is a student union building, 2-story in a PE structure complex. We're currently doing BIM work on that right now, so they're modeling that, doing clash detection. We have the exterior framing and interior framing and drywall. Laguna Honda Hospital, that's coming up. That's a $49,000 contract for Rubicon. The Lake Tahoe project, we're finalizing and finishing out. Lawrence Livermore Labs, we just started on that Monday. And that's a $146,000 project for general contractors Roar. Marsa Voorhees, we're setting plaster out there right now. Voorhees down in Bakersfield. Mather Veterans Village, Phase 3. You're going to be hearing about that. That's a special type of project that we're working on. Dave Legier and I are coordinating all that. So that's ongoing. We still have drywall and stuff for that. Mule Creek, we're finishing up on. Sorry. Yeah, Mule Creek, we're tail end of War Memorial. That's just doing some water damage work, right? Just now, is that going to be happening in the next?
We just did the pool planning meeting last Friday, so they're gonna.
Okay. And that's $82,000. We've got the SFO boarding area A gate enhancements. That's only a $16,000. That's for Trico. It's a janitor's closet, but it's going to be opening up into some more work out at SFO. SFO long-term parking. We went from the canopy. We're doing the entry-exit plaza canopy. We're now doing the whole parking structure in regards to the metal framing and drywall, elevator shafts, plaster, cabinetry. We're doing casework. That's an added scope that's on our casework, and some miscellaneous items. I don't know if we're doing doors or. Okay. And we have $125,000 for the canopy. The other phase of the canopies incorporated into that, and I think it's like $3 million.
Something.
$3 million for the parking structure, all the additional scopes. So courtyard, we're still working on that. We finished plaster on the admin building in the next 2 to 3 weeks. There's still a lot of specialty ceilings to go in. So some work out there. In regards to Sutter Middle School, that's ongoing. We have the UCSF elevator modernization with Lions. UCSF elevator modernization with Lions. That's just redoing some elevator fronts.
Starts Monday.
Starts Monday, and that's in 2 different buildings, correct? There's the Mount Zion and the School of Dentistry.
School of Dentistry.
Okay. We also have the UCSF School of Dentistry restrooms. So we have a contract for the elevator for School of Dentistry, and we have a contract for the restrooms.
Which might start Wednesday.
Start Wednesday. So we got
Possible.
70,000.
Monday, not this Wednesday?
Yeah, they're in the same place, so the guys on the elevator fronts will go right to the restrooms.
Okay.
If
So VA Mather, that's a $752,000.
almost done.
West Side Recycling Water Treatment Facility, that's not till 2019. We've got drywall plaster on that, and that's $300,000. We also landed San Francisco General, which is Zuckerberg. If you don't know who Mark Zuckerberg is, he's the owner of Facebook. He donated a huge amount of money to the San Francisco hospital, so they named the hospital after Mark Zuckerberg. So that's coming up. We're currently doing submittals on that. Full vocation, that's only $8,000. I guess that. We've got SFO terminals. So these are the projects that we are finalizing contract, or we have a contract and we're just going through schedule tweaks and things like that for the project. So SF Terminal 1, boarding area B. We have CMD, which is California Military Department. And that is, our scope of work is, it's about $7 million. $7 million worth of work for CMD. And that, where's that at?
That's in Rancho Cordova.
Rancho.
Yeah, Sacramento.
Eglin Air Force Base. Well, that's on the horizon. Transbay, we have the SFO Central Garage Tunnel Doors. So that's doing some soffit work. They're redoing some doors, and we need to do the soffits that tie into the elevator fronts and some doors. Lake Isabella.
Free, huh?
What's that? No, we just haven't typed in because we're still under contract negotiations. So we're trying to it's going to be about this much or that. So see here, where I think it said approximately $30,000 to $40,000 contract. So I usually like to get it pinpointed, but this gives you kind of a wrong. Lake Isabella, $144,000. Insulation, ceilings, drywall, FRP panels, and acoustical ceiling tile. Okay, Palm Avenue School admin and expansion, $577,000. Sutter Middle School Phase 2.
Yeah, there's a phase 2.
No, where's the avenue one?
I mean, what?
Yeah,
Where's
where's the location? Columbo, I mean, Bakersfield.
Maybe we can start putting the location in there too. Yeah, so we can work on it.
And then we have the expanded emergency department. So we have Sutter Middle School, where it's 1.6 million, and then we have the emergency expansion department, which is 433,000. And then we have this Davis Canopies restroom for block construction for 40,000. So this is currently, we are in contract negotiations. This is what our backlog of future work that's coming. As you see, there's a lot of work up ahead. David, Jerry, and I are working on in regards to scheduling that. What's our manpower loading, pre-planning, pre-con. But I just want to give you guys just a view of the office is working with right now to get set up so that we can get through. I mean, we're looking at from June till December, a large amount of work happening. So and this isn't all the other stuff that the estimators are working on. Estimators, I think, have 40 bids out right now.
They just got more stuff yesterday.
Yeah. So this is where the estimating team and the coordination, they're landing more and more work. Okay? So our future is very bright. All right? Any questions or comments about anything that we've covered today? No?
No.
Great. All right, thank you, Damien. Thank you, Hugo.
No problem. Thank you. Good day.
All right.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Thanks, Ben.
Bye, Ben.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
ladies.
Bye.